Full disclosure, I am talking about the 3.0. What is up? Welcome to Cutting Up. I am your host Mac, and I want to thank you for checking out this content. And you see the title of this video, let's get straight into this one. This is gonna be not so much a review, but kind of a refute of some other reviews that you might be seeing. Now, I have no association with this company. I bought this device on my own, and I've had it for actually a couple years now, and has been satisfied with it. So I've been shocked to see that there is obviously newer versions of the Manscaped coming out and getting poor reviews or mixed reviews. Just because I thought, well, maybe they're gonna build on what I thought was a fairly successful device. Do I think it's absolutely perfect? No, I don't. But I do want to refute a couple of things that I am seeing in some honest, non-sponsored reviews. This is not to start a war with any other reviewers. I want to respect everybody's opinion and everybody's experience with these devices, but I just want to make sure that people get a fair and balanced critique, and kind of seems kind of trendy to beat up on Manscaped right now. If you look through it, a lot of the reviews are weirdly negative, and then they kind of draw it back a little bit and tell you some good things that Manscaped does. So, full disclosure, I am talking about the 3.0. I don't have a box. Like I said, I've had this for a couple of years. They've had since that the 4 and the 5, and I've seen horrible reviews on the 5, and I kind of understand from watching those why they are getting those reviews. Major things are saying there's a new blade head that they have added on there, and it's a bit gimmicky, and they don't like the price. First things first, price is subjective. Whatever you think this is worth and what you can afford, you're gonna have to be able to look at. I do remember that at the time of getting this, it was a little pricey. I'm not sure how much you can get the 3.0, which is the model that I have, but I will offer up the dad bod. I'm about to jump in the shower. Now, obviously, I won't be getting banned by YouTube, whipping out my nuts and shaving my balls and showing you guys. But there has been a couple of things that I feel are a little bit misleading or unnecessary critiques. So I just want to balance it out. So I'll show you everything that comes with it. So, of course, we have, most importantly, the Manscaped 3.0. Remember, keep that in mind. This is the 3.0. I can't talk for the 4.0 or the 5.0. This comes with one guard that you can actually click into one position forward and back. This would, I guess, count as like a millimeter off. One thing I would say is they don't give you a measurement of how close that is. And then it does come with its own stand for charging. It is a proprietary charger, which I am not always a fan of, and it comes with its own cube. That is a plus for me, because of late I have been trying out all these other ones, and they keep sending me the micro USB, which I love, but then they'll just have this on the other end, and I'm kind of like, where am I gonna put that into an outlet? Here is the stand. You don't actually need the stand itself to charge it. You can plug it straight into the device and charge the device that way, or right in the back of the stand, you can plug it in there to charge. It doesn't last super long. It gives you about 90 minutes of shaving. Honestly, I'm not the biggest guy on planet Earth. I am shorter than 6 feet. I'm maybe about 5'7", 5'8", something like that. I'm not the biggest guy, but to be honest, you don't need 90 minutes to trim all your body hair. If you're taking more than 90 minutes to do your manscaping, you are a special case. I'm not making fun of you, but that is an excessive amount of time. Your major areas that you're gonna be touching on is gonna be the hamburger meat on the chest, maybe the abdomen to the love below. Maybe if you're like really metro, you want to do the leg and the butt. It's not gonna take you 90 minutes from start to finish to get done what you need to get done. So you do have the guard here. One of the things that I've been hearing is that it is not gonna give you, obviously with the guard on, a close enough shave. Well, there's no respectable way to say this other than duh. Any trimmer that you have, if you put on the guard, the whole point of it is to leave some hair behind. So you're not going to get a perfect smooth shave when you have on a guard. You're gonna have to take the guard off and then go with the trimmer. Now, the marketing. And listen, we live in a capitalist hellscape. We know that marketing teams like to jazz up things and make things sound much better than they are. And one of the critiques is that this boasts about skin safe technology, and they've been able to cut themselves with this. Again, no shade at any particular reviewer, because I've seen a couple of reviewers say this, but yes, you still can achieve cutting yourself with this thing. It is still a trimmer with blades on there, with moving blades that are gonna cut the hair. So it is possible to cut yourself. That should go without saying. To say that the marketing team is selling you some kind of snake oil for telling you that it has skin safe technology is really hyperbolic and really overselling the idea that it's some kind of scam. Can you cut yourself if you're not careful with this? Yes, but does it significantly make a difference between this and just using a regular trimmer about the same size to use on your body and your sensitive areas? Significant difference. The hair tugging, pulling, and nicking happens a lot less with this. A lot less. And you're talking to somebody that before I knew about Manscaped and I knew about body trimmers, I used to just get a cheap one from a Walmart, a Marshall's, a TJ Maxx, and just use that one separate from the one that I use on my face. And I would have to be very, very careful, which even with this, I will tell you, yes, you're going to have to be very, very careful. You are trimming somewhere very sensitive, be careful. You're not gonna be able to just swing your hand or put in too much pressure in the area. You're still going to have to treat it like you're cutting in your genital area. Common sense, guys. You have to know the sensitive areas. Is this perfect? Are you gonna go without ever nicking yourself or having any kind of cut? Absolutely not. Does it make a significant difference between this and a regular trimmer that might have cost $40? Yes, the price on this when I got this was maybe $82 or something like that. So it was a little pricey, and that is going to be subjective to you. But for me, it is night and day difference between a regular trimmer, just using it on your body, and using this. Now, a lot of new trimmers are starting to add an extra head that is meant to be a body trimmer and kind of trying to make these items that are strictly for the body antiquated. If you have one that works for you, maybe you won't need this. I do think that there are a couple out there. The One Blade series from Philip Norelco comes to mind, for example. They have an excellent all-purpose one. But this one, if you're looking for something that you know 100% you're only gonna use on your body, is perfectly fine. I do think that the LED light on it makes a huge difference on being able to see what you're doing in the lower areas. I also do see a significant difference between using just a regular trimmer and the nicks and cuts and hair tugging and pulling that I get in that system versus this, even when I don't have on the safety guard. I've also heard complaints about how strong this is, even though this can be coarse hair that you're gonna be cutting, because pubic hair can be very coarse. I don't know what you're trimming. Are you trimming steel wool? What do you expect as far as power? Is this as powerful as a plug-in or some kind of high-grade professional or commercial use trimmer? Absolutely not. But do you need it to be very powerful to be able to trim? I'll show you right now the difference here. I offer up the man bod. Please excuse the man bod. As you can see, I have a little bit of hamburger meat going on the body here. This is without the guard on there. And yes, I am traveling in the direction that the hair grows. This will give you a smoother shape to go up against. But again, night and day difference on what this thing can do on the body. Now this body hair, for me and my texture specifically, tends to be a little bit less coarse. There are people with a different curl pattern on their chest hair and a little bit more coarse hair. Absolutely understand that hair texture is going to make a difference for your experience. I've heard of this thing cut me, and listen, nobody wants to be cut below the navel by any device. So if it is your experience that you've come across getting cut by this thing, I can definitely understand. Once bitten, twice shy. But the idea that this thing is going to cut you just as much as any other shaver, I mean, I even seen somebody say that this cut them, so they then used a razor. A razor, listen, you gotta be super careful with that. If you're worried about being careful with this in your sensitive areas, please do not jump to using a razor as an alternative. I don't think that is the best of advice. To be fair to that reviewer, he wasn't suggesting to do that. He was just simply telling you what he does. And in that, I kind of come to another point in defending this thing, which is this is not an end all be all. If you want something that's going to be perfectly smooth, then I would suggest maybe getting your hands on a trimmer and then go in with an electric shaver. You can use an electric shaver if you're careful in your sensitive areas. One of the critiques is that the skin is not as tight in your sensitive area, in your love below. Well, pull the skin taut. Again, I'm not gonna get banned by YouTube, but I'm gonna try to figure this out and show you with my robe here. Imagine, use your imagination, the skin is gonna be wrinkly, especially if it's not ice cold wherever you are. You're going to have to pull the skin and then trim. That's why you have two hands. Pull the skin and trim. Be gentle, but pull the skin and trim. And be careful about going against the grain. If you need it to be bowling ball smooth, no pun intended, you're gonna have to use another device. But to knock this device and say that this doesn't work or this isn't worth it is a bit extreme for me. I just had to come on here and defend this. Like I said, I'd love to have a promo code for as many devices as I can, but this is totally unsponsored. I paid my money for this thing and I just had to defend it because I've been happy with this. And I'm sure with them on 5.0, if you go searching for the 3.0, again, I can only talk for the 3.0. It works. The placement of the button is not easy for you to turn off. You can hold it. There's just enough gripping for this thing. Have I ever used it in the shower? I don't personally use this and wet the device itself, but what it does allow with it being waterproof is that when I am in the shower, if I'm already wet, I can use this on that wet body and not worry about it. I'm gonna get another trimmer and I'm gonna just shave the other side just to show you. You're not gonna be able to feel the difference like I just did on the chest here, but I'll be honest in telling you what I feel. Now, just to get this out really quickly, I did make reference to a lot of these other ones coming with body trimmers now. This one is what you'll normally see, and I think in the 5.0, they even gave in on Manscaped and kind of gave you a head similar to this, and it has like this double-edged siding, and people say it's gimmicky on the 5.0. I'm gonna come over here on this side, and the first thing that I am going to try to point out to you is that, yeah, sure, I'm not feeling any nicking, but the amount of times that I've had to go back and forth just to kind of replicate the level of smoothness that I was able to achieve here, it's night and day. This is the superior design. I don't trust this thing going into an area that's not a smooth and big area like my chest. Below the waist, I will pass on this every time. They kind of throw it in there as this like jack of all trades thing, but then it kind of ends up just being where the body trimmer is kind of gimmicky, and it makes me kind of lean towards, if you can get your hands on this, whether you got to hold on for a sale or just kind of save up to get this. If body hair trimming, cutting hair below the waist is important to you, I think it's important enough personally. Me, I would say that it is worth investing in getting a trimmer. There are other brands that do body trimmers that compete with Manscaped. Is the whole safe skin technology, is it really technology, or is it just that they've moved the blade back? Sure, it's a bit of marketing, but there are a lot of innovations that they sell to you on products that already exist, that they're either bringing back something that we had or they've slightly modified it. So does marketing suck? Yes. But did they invent marketing? Are they scamming you into buying something that doesn't really work? No. At least at the 3.0. They seem to have gotten it right. So if you've gotten your hands on this, come back to this video, comment below, let me know what your experience is with this. Till the next time we're cutting up, stay sharp and stay safe. And I'll see you in the next one. And shaving my balls and showing you guys.